Hello everyone and welcome back to New Hope Tarot. This is the timeless reading for Where Will You Be in 6 months. This is for pile number 1, the Wheel, with the golden citrate crystal. Alright, I've already sorted out the cards, but I have not looked at the piles yet. So we're going to take a look at that together. We have the Weaver, Trust, Decide, Resilient, Death, 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Wands in reverse, and Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Let's take a look at these cards and find out what the story is. As I'm looking at the cards, what I'm seeing is with the Wheel, which is the Wheel of Fortune in this particular deck, she's creating her own momentum in this particular picture. Even though it's already fated, she's taking fate by her own hands. And with the Weaver card that's right next to it, the Oracle card, again, she's creating her fate. So this whole reading right now is about creating what it is you're trying to manifest. But you have to trust the universe, because we also have the Moth cards, which is a trust, and it is change, and everything will change. But if I'm looking at these cards, you also have the 2 Oracle cards, Decide and Resilient. Decide, may you navigate with purpose, and Resilient, may your soul weather the storms. Basically, what this is stating is, because the Decide card is right next to the Weaver, you have to decide very clearly what it is you are wanting to weave in your life. Okay? And the Resilient card is right after Trust. Now, you do have to trust that you will be resilient enough to move forward. But not only that, you have to trust that there are going to be some ups and downs, and that's something that is a part of the journey, and you have to recognize that and weather the storm, like the card says, because it's all part of the journey. Nothing is smooth sailing. Now, with the Decide card, we have Death and the 5 of Pentacles. With Death comes transformation, and you have to let things die in order for things to come new into your life with this particular card. And then we have the 5 of Pentacles, which is really comes down to paying attention to the right opportunities. Sometimes we're too busy looking in one area that we don't look anywhere else, because we're too focused on something that we might miss something else. And I feel that that's basically what this card is stating here. With the Resilient, we have the 5 of Wands in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. The 5 of Wands in reverse is basically it could be you kind of working against yourself, maybe you're the one causing your own friction here, wanting something to happen on your own time. But you have to understand that that's not the way it works. You have to allow time to work itself, right? Divine timing. Everything will work out. You just have to allow it to work out. With the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, it's basically confirming the Five of Wands. Don't fixate on any end result, is really what this is going to. Otherwise, you really are going to be losing the whole joy of the process. And that's not something that you want to do. Don't sacrifice something for wanting something else, or don't sacrifice, what am I trying to say here? Don't sacrifice something to get something else. You are able to get both of the things, but you can get something without sacrificing something that is really heavy on you. It's like stating, all right, well, here's, $5 for this cup of coffee. That's reasonable, right? But are you going to spend $20 on a cup of coffee, on the same cup of coffee? No, that's giving too much, right? So that's kind of what I'm trying to say here as far as sacrificing. Don't put too much of an effort into something. Give it equal value. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say here. I'm going to see if there's any additional threads here that I might need to pick up on, okay? I am seeing 5 and 10. So whatever it is you are trying to accomplish, I think can get accomplished within a 5-month turnaround time. However, again, it's going to have to do really with you and how you decide to move forward. But we're going to go ahead and get some clarification cards just to be on the safe side and see these cards over here. And I have already pre-shuffled, but I always shuffle live. By the way, Cliff Notes will not be available for these. The death card here. Okay. The death card is the devil in reverse, which is basically, the lack of temptation. You are moving forward. You are freeing yourself to doing something that it is you want to do. With the 5 of Pentacles, 2 cards came out. So I'm just going to look at these cards. The Death card and the 5 of Cups in reverse. So obviously with the 5 of Pentacles, what it's stating to you here with the Death card is that you need to change your point of view, because even though the death is about, transformation, change, because it's clarifying the Five of Pentacles here, it's basically stating change your point of view. You don't overly focus on one thing. Sometimes you need a higher point of view to see things differently, so you're not missing something. The Five of Cups also came out in reverse, and the Five of Cups is about loss, but in reverse it's about gain, right? So basically with these two cards together, clarifying the Five of Pentacles, this is basically stating change your point of view and you can gain knowledge, you can gain perspective, you can gain whatever, fill in the blank, right? So changing your perspective is really what this one comes down to. Let's clarify the Five of Wands in reverse here. Oh! All right, so 3 cards just fell to the ground. Allow me one moment. Let me collect these. Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords in reverse, 3 of Cups, and Empress in reverse, clarifying the Five of Wands here. The Ace of Swords is about it's victory, really, is what this comes down to, and making a decision. But because it's in reverse with this Five of Wands, which we had stated that was really in regards to you being conflicted with yourself, it's like you're not making a decision, right? And then the Three of Cups is definitely about celebration and abundance, and it's truly about celebration. And the Empress here is also abundance, but this one came out in reverse. So, and the Empress is also like giving birth to ideas and so on and so forth. So this only shows further your confliction, right? This is showing, how the Five of Wands, which is your conflicting, your success is really in your own hands at this point. Because remember, the wheel, the person is creating her own wheel of fortune. She is drawing in this particular card, she is drawing the circle in the sand. She's creating it, and then the card, the Weaver, came out, right? So this success is truly in your hands, but you need to balance these thoughts that you're constantly jumbling together, or back and forth, that you're juggling back and forth. You need to get clarity on it, right? Decide, like this card says, decide with purpose. Decide so that you can navigate with purpose, right? Because change is always happening, but, change has got to be with purpose as well, right? A few cards fell out, but they all dropped down, face down, and you know what? The same thing just happened, and I put them back in, and same thing just happened. So I'm going to take the cards because I guess Spirit is telling me to take the cards. Face down or not. They're saying, listen, lady, pay attention. You're going to have to take the cards that we put down. All right. So with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, we have the Nine of Cups, which is a wish card, right? Then we have the Ace of Pentacles, but in reverse. So this is not a new beginning. This is something that you're still working on, right? Ace of Pentacles can also be prosperity. but in reverse, it's the lack of. All right. So, and I'm going to read the other one before I continue. Then we have the Seven of Wands in reverse, which can be about challenges. And basically, to me, what this screams out is that your wish is wanting to come true. Your wish is wanting to be manifested, right? Because here we have the wheel, the weaver, but you aren't trusting completely. You aren't deciding completely. And I'm not trying to call you out. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I am trying to tell you, listen, if this is what it is you're wanting to do, then you need to get clear-minded about these things that are occurring, that you are wanting to manifest. You have to be very, very clear with the universe. You can't just say, oh, well, hey, universe, I want to start my own business and be, a millionaire, let's say. And the universe is like, okay, well, how? And you have to give them details. You can't just be like, you can't just drop something on somebody's lap and be like, oh, here you go. I'm like, all right, well, what do you want me to do with that? Right? That's what the universe is saying. You need to decide, and you need to be very, very clear and express what it is you want them to do. So another example, you tell someone at work, hey, John, would you mind connecting the TV in the back over there? And John's like, all right. John doesn't ask any questions. John just goes and connects the TV. Well, you go back there, and number one, you didn't tell John which TV. You didn't tell him what to connect it to. And you go back there, and you're like, well, what's happening? And he's like, you told me to connect the TV, so I did. And he connected the TV to a toaster or something absurd, right? And you're like, well, no. And he's like, well, you didn't tell me what, so I did what I thought was right, right? So you're not going to get the result that you want without being clear, okay? So let's see. I'm going to get a different deck for clarification because we've already used some cards here. So give me 1 second. Let me get a second deck. Let's do this one. Because I want to find out if you do get your ish together, this venture, this whatever it is you're trying to manifest and you're trying to work towards, is this going to be successful? This is really what I'm trying to find out right now for you guys. If pile number 1 gets their ish together, the card just flew out. Okay. The Prince of Swords. So the Prince of Swords is the Knight of Swords in this particular deck. And basically what the Knight of Swords, it's not a yes or a no, unfortunately. This is one of the cards that signify you have to go within yourself. It's really going to depend on you. And if you make the appropriate changes, I truly feel that this is something that can change. I'm going to use a different deck. Let me see if I get a different answer. universe. Let's see if we can clarify this Prince of Swords. Because truthfully, with this Prince of Swords cup, it's like your Prince of Swords card. You're moving at a very fast rate, but it's like you're working too hard for it. And when you're working with the universe and you're working with something that it is with the flow of the universe, it should not be this difficult. And I feel that even though this states, hold on one second, the Queen of Pentacles right side up. That's good. That's good. So before I continue with that, so what was I saying? Oh yes, friction. Sorry. With this Knight of Swords, I feel like you are working harder on whatever it is you're trying to do. I feel like you're working much harder than what you need to, because you really shouldn't have to work this difficult. So what I'm seeing here, and don't shoot the messenger, is that you're wanting to create things, however, and you're wanting to be resilient. But on the flip side here, we have the trust card. I feel like you're stating in your mind, or maybe verbally even, you're stating, I trust, but you're working against it, right? So you're stating the words, but you're not feeling the words. Because with the Queen of Pentacles right side up, obviously, yes, you are able to get this, this beauty, this, the financial rewards that you're looking for. You are able to become that person. In this particular card, there is a bee, and the bee pollinates, right? So they are able to spread more, they're able to pollinate, so they're able to spread more of what it is that they're carrying. What that means for you is that if you get your ish together, then you can absolutely, whatever it is you're trying to create, carry this further than just this little area that you're kind of focused on, right? So in the end, my dear pawn number one, what I'm trying to say is that get your head out of your own head. You thought I was going to say another word. I am not. Get your head out of your own head. Get yourself out of your own head. Feel. Ignore the thoughts that are in your mind, what it is you need to do, how you need to do it, all of that, because I feel like you're using your mind more than your heart and your intuition. And I feel with this trust card and the resilience card here, it is being very, very, very specific that you have to trust the universe. Yes, you want to create something, but you have to trust that the universe is going to deliver it at the time that it needs to be delivered. But it cannot be delivered to you until you be clear, until you are clear with the universe of what it is exactly you want, and not work so darn hard for the things that you're trying to create, because this should be a fluid movement. This should be a fluid venture that you're doing. And when you started off, you thought it was a fluid motion. And I feel like you've gone through so many ups and downs, and you're just, it feels like the energy that I'm getting, it's like it's just friction. That's what I'm getting. And it's not like a lot of friction. I feel like it's less friction than what you think it is, but you're seeing it to be more friction with this Five of Pentacles here. And and it's funny because this Prince of Swords is directly under that. With this Five of Pentacles, and this Prince of Swords directly below it, it's like you're so focused that you're not seeing the other things. Just like this Prince of Swords is going, it's charging. Oh yeah, it's not working. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to work harder to get what it is I want. And the universe is saying, whoa, slow down. Slow your roll. Take a deep breath. Trust. Slow down. Let things die. Take a higher viewpoint. See how you can approach this from a different direction or avenue or pathway, however it is, you want to see it, because this should be easy. Like this bee, it'll pollinate. You need to allow things to happen, but in order for that to happen, you need to trust in the process. And I believe, my dear pal number one, that if you do trust in the process, you can be flourishing like this Queen of Pentacles here at the very, very end. And that's what I'm seeing here for your pile. All right. I hope this reading was helpful. If it did, I really appreciate a like, share, subscribe. And don't forget to hit that little bell. All right. Have a great one. Bye. Hello, pal number two. This is your Where Will You Be in 6 Months reading. You have chosen the Seven of Wands and the Blue Apatite crystal. Your particular stack got more cards, or your particular pile got more cards than the other. So let's take a look at your cards here. Gonna make a little bit more space because you guys definitely got more cards. All right, so we have Higher Perspective, Ancestors, and the Revolutionary. We have Shine, Begin, and Awe. We have the Chariot, the Knight of Cups in reverse, the Ace of Swords in reverse, and the Four of Wands in reverse. We also received the Four of Swords in reverse and the Six of Wands right up. All right, let's take a look at the story that we got going on here. So with the Seven of Wands, this is telling me that you are in conflict, either with yourself or others around you. And this could be an internal battle. You might actually not be saying anything to anyone, but it's like you're having this internal argument with these people. That's the sense that I'm getting with this particular card. And the reason why I'm getting that, and I feel, is because we have the ancestors immediately next to it. So I feel like the avenue that you're trying to take is really goes against what your family members or those around you are telling you, specifically family members. And maybe you are too traditional, or your family household is too traditional that you really don't speak back to your ancestors. So this argument is really kind of going inside, but really what you want to tell them is, no, this is something that I want to do, and this is how I want to go about it. which speaks to this revolutionary card, because this card is really about you doing things the way you do them, like you do you, right? It's not necessarily going against the ancestors. It's about respecting the family traditions and how they did things. But we've come to a new era where it's time to do something different, and you feel that it is your higher calling to do whatever it is you're wanting to do, the way you're doing it, right? So for instance, let's say that they want you to go to college, but you're like, I really don't want to go to college. I want to try to do this first. And they're like, no. We have a college fund for you and you have to go to college, things of that nature. With this higher perspective, what this is screaming out to me is try to understand their point of view, and so that you're not arguing with them, because this blue appetite here is in touch with the throat chakra. So you have to communicate clearly in regards to what it is you want to do with your family members. Because it's this blue appetite goes along with the higher perspective card, where you are in touch with your intuitive side. And I feel like whatever it is you're wanting to do, you're really wanting to do it to manifest something really positive in the world, is what I'm getting here. And you are feel very much called to do. So this might not even, be a business venture. Maybe you want to become a counselor or something to that extent, or a life coach or something. Share the knowledge and wisdom that you have, and you want to share it with other people. With this shine card, it says, may you be a lighthouse. And I feel like that's exactly what you want to do. You want to be the lighthouse to other people. But in order to lead other people, you have to kind of lead yourself, right? So I feel like you have to get a higher perspective to see where the ancestors, your family members, are coming from, and then explain to them without quarreling, and say, listen, this is where I'm coming from. I understand your point of view, but however, I'm wanting to do this because of X, Y, and Z reasons. I hope that you're able to see that that I'm trying to do something that is for my benefit as well as the benefit for others. And maybe you're able to come up with some resolution there. And then this begin card says, may you start as if you have already begun. And I feel like you're really wanting to do that. Maybe some of you have, but I feel like for the most part, it's like you want to begin, but you want their approval before you even begin doing so that you're not being disrespectful. But what this card is screaming out is, start whatever it is that you've started as if you've already begun. And what that means is, what that's screaming to me is that if you are wanting to be a life coach. For instance, that I'm not saying that that's what you want to do. I'm just saying that's the first thing that came to mind. Let's say you're wanting to be a life coach. Well, how are you able to communicate something from a different point of view from the other person that's on the other side if you're not able to have that clear conversation? So start with the family. That's how you're going to begin the process, right? That's how the doors are going to open, and you're going to see a straight path. Once that is out of the way, you're not going to be so conflicted. And then you're going to be in awe about oh, wow, yeah, that was a lot easier than I had actually imagined it would be. Or it could give you some pause about how, if this is really your life path, because if you can't even have that conversation with your family members, then how are you going to have that conversation with perfect strangers, right? But take it a day at a time. With the Chariot here, I feel like you are in forward motion in regards to this. Well, I feel like you're going to be in a forward motion in regards to this after you have these conversations with your family member. It's not just like motion. It's like a fast, steady motion. Not just fast and reckless, not just steady, like the King of Pentacles steady. Not like that. It's going to be a fast, steady. It's like a solid momentum that you're going to have, because this particular card has the Kingfisher, a belted Kingfisher bird on it. And the Kingfisher is a bird of the water, which is, water is fluid, right? But this particular bird is I'm trying to remember what the bird is. I'm sorry. It's a solitary bird, but it has very clear vision, and it keeps its eyes on the prize. And once it spots the fish, it just goes straight for it. It's an amazing little bird. And it goes into it dives in like if it was nothing, right? Like it dives in confidently, like it knows it's going to come out with this fish, right? And this symbolizes you in a lot of ways, because you're doing something completely different from your family members, but you're doing it with a sense of confidence that you're like, yes, I know I'm able to do this. And you're going to have even much more confidence once your family members are on board, because you feel like they have your backing. But again, the Kingfisher, the belted Kingfisher, is a solitary bird. So even if they don't have your back, know that you're still able to do this. Okay? Then we have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups in reverse. And the Knight of Cups in reverse is basically about basically what the saying is, focus on what your goal is. Don't get too out of control with the daydreaming or the emotions or things of that effect, because that could really stall you. Stay focused like the belted Kingfisher, right? Super hyper focused, okay? with the Ace of Swords in reverse is be careful of, because the Ace of Swords is a card of victory, but in reverse is the exact opposite. So, but what I'm getting here is, because we are talking about a lot about communication, is watch out for believing lies you tell yourself or lies that others might be telling you. Remember, this is a general reading, so take it how it resonates. And then be very, very careful of someone that might be sharp-tongued, or you being sharp-tongued with your communication. All right, and the reason why I say that is because with this particular Ace of Swords, there is a snake. And, you know, snake can sometimes come out of the blue. And you're just like, whoa, like what? And sometimes snakes, they, what's the word? They camouflage. They camouflage themselves super, super well. And you might not see it coming. Or you might not see that what you're telling yourself might be a lie, right? So be mindful of that as you're moving through the months, okay? With the Four of Wands here in reverse, don't be, if you do happen to fall for the lie, don't be overcritical of yourself. You know, we can all fall into a certain trap. You know, it happens. You know, just collect yourself back up. And the reason why I say that is because you have the Four of Swords immediately afterwards. And the Four of Swords could be a couple of different things. It could be swords, right? Yeah, swords. That's a sword. Sorry, just want to make sure it was a sword. It could be a card of restlessness, but it could also be a card of you just being overwhelmed, right? With it being in reverse. And if you're overwhelmed with, you know, the fact that you are being too harsh on yourself because you believed a certain lie, well, you know, that's just being too harsh. All right, that's just genuinely just being way too harsh on yourself, and there's absolutely no need for that. And you can easily get clarification, if need be, with this Ace of Swords in reverse. You know, ask for clarification. It's like, well, why, you know, why did you lie? Like, what's the point of that? But if it's yourself, then you have to ask yourself that question. It's like, why would I believe that lie? Like, what caused me to believe that lie? And that lie could very well be with this Knight of Cups, because they are next to one another. It could very well be the fact that you are possibly daydreaming too much, right? And you might have come to a standstill as far as movement is concerned, because maybe movement was going so well that you're like, okay, I can take a break, and then you're like, oh, it's not as going as well as I had hoped, because you're more daydreaming versus, you know, going with the flow and doing things with that focus, right? Where was I? The Four of Swords. I already clarified the Four of Swords. Well, not clarified. I really went over the Four of Swords. And then we had the Six of Wands. In the end, you're going to recognize that you are doing a good job. You really are. And that comes up to the 6th month. You know, like, you're doing fine. You know, you really are. You're doing fine, you know, but just be careful, because, you know, in the first month you got the Chariot and you're moving along, and then with the Knight of Cups, you know, you're over fantasizing about something in the second month, and then, you know, be careful of that lie in the third month, and then the fourth month, be mindful of the possible dissatisfaction with either you believe in the lie or in being too hard on yourself, or maybe the achievement isn't, or the success isn't going as well as you hoped. Okay. And then with this Four of Swords, this could be anything between being restless and trying to move forward and go, no, with this Four of Swords in reverse. Sorry. No, I'm moving forward. I'm going to go do. And you're restless about getting it done. Or it could also be like you're just done. And not done in a bad way, but it's kind of like ignoring the issue of the past few months. And you cannot ignore the issue. You have to get going. And honestly, I don't feel like, maybe for some of you, you will be ignoring the issue, but because of the Six of Wands here, and then maybe you'll get your ish together later and you have the Six of Wands. But what I genuinely feel for the majority of you is that you're going to regroup. And you're going to be on the move so much, restless in your way of thinking, in the way of the way you are moving, or changing the way you're thinking about the past few months in regards to how you got here, and you want to get back to that Chariot moment, and then you start moving forward here with the Six of Wands. All right, I'm going to get some clarification cards out here. Allow me one moment and get a deck out. All right. Oh, sorry, that was a hiccup. I'm so sorry, you guys. All right, let's get clarification on this Chariot. Yeah, High Priestess. You're wise enough to know, and you trust yourself enough, and trust the universe enough to know that you are moving in the right direction. Now let's clarify this Knight of Cups in reverse here for you. Okay. Strength. But it's in reverse. It's like you are being impatient. You want this to get off the ground running, and that's not what's going to keep you. That's not keeping in with the trusting of the universe, with your higher perspective. Oh, hold on. Another card came out. So with this Strength in reverse, because remember with the Knight of Cups, it was a little bit too much about daydreaming because it's in reverse. This is about not having patience with the process here with this Strength card. And then with the Ace of Swords in reverse, we have the Queen of Cups, victory. And it's funny because the Ace of Swords is about victory when it's right side up, but it is in reverse. So it clarifies that you might not fall for the lie, or even if you do fall for the lie, oh my gosh, I can't speak. You will you will regain yourself and your composure fairly quickly, and you'll go ahead and take action to correct whatever that was. All right, with the Four of Wands in reverse, let's get clarification on that. Oh, okay. Yeah. Four of Pentacles, funny enough. Four of Pentacles, stability, security. So even though something didn't work out or it's not working out, you have to have faith that in order for this to work for you, you have to build the foundation of it before you can take off running. You can't build something on unstable ground, right? You can't build something on sand. It's gonna just sink through, right? You can't build something on just rock. You know, it's not gonna be stable. You have to build a solid foundation before this takes off. And here, so 4 cards came out. The Four of Pentacles, the Fool card, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Two of Cups. So I'm going to go one by one. We've already gone over the Four of Pentacles. I'm telling you, your deck came out with so many cards. It's not, or your pile came out with so many cards. The Fool. Yes, this is going to be the new beginning from the last 2 months. So it's like you're going to be beginning anew in this particular month. It's like you're like, okay, I have to restructure, collect myself, and once I build this foundation, guess what? Wheel of Fortune. That's when change starts happening, right? And you start falling in love with the work that you're doing again, and you find that internal peace that you were wanting a long time ago when you first started this venture. All right. The Four of Swords in reverse. Let's get the clarification on that. Four. Yeah, the Four of Swords is verified by the Five of Cups, which is, you know, you're mourning over the past things, but I'm gonna get another clarification. Oh, one just jumped out. Oh, I lied. 2 cards jumped out. The Ten of Cups, which is prosperity, and the Queen of Swords, which is being very intelligent, right? So with the Four of Swords, we have the Five of Cups in reverse, the Ten of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. So together what this is telling me is that, yes, you suffered a loss. Yes, you might be beating yourself up, but you are actually considering the things that had happened in the past, and you are being wise enough to realize, okay, I don't want to make that mistake again, and I want to continue on the right path. And you're coming up with a strategy as to how to get to the Ten of Cups, which is in the end what you want. You know, you're wanting that happily ever after, that celebration. And let's get this last card clarified. The Six of Wands. Whoa. Okay. Jumping cards. All right. And the Six of Wands, we have the Eight of Cups, which is change. So you are moving toward, moving toward what it is you want. And because this Six of Wands is directly next to the Four of Swords, what I'm going to say here is that you're moving on from the past hiccup, but you're learning from it, right? And because of that hiccup, you learned a lesson, and you are taking the steps, as I mentioned with this Queen of Swords, you're taking the appropriate steps to move forward with the appropriate changes, so that when you take the next step within the venture, because it's going to come, when you take the next step within your venture, you know how to make the most of it, and you're going to know how not to make that same mistake that you made before, and so that you're able to get this Ten of Cups. All right, but you remember, you do you. Go against the grain. Sometimes that's what you have to do. But even when you go against the grain, you have to make sure that you stay grounded. You stay with that higher perspective, because we have higher perspective. We have the High Priestess. We have, what was the other one? Oh, we have the Blue Appetite, which is... which is unlocking creative freedom, but it also it helps you channel to receive guidance from that higher being. So this is because this card carries the vibration of hope, and that is something that you have to continue to carry, is that vibration of hope throughout these next 6 months, and be very, very leery of over fantasizing, over dreaming about where it can go. If you are going to manifest, you have to manifest with clarity. It just can't be in mind, right? You have to feel it, right? And you have to be vocal about it. All right, my dear pal 2, that was your reading for the next, what to expect in the next 6 months. All right, until we meet again. Bye. Hello, pal number 3. This is your reading for what to expect in the next 6 months. You have chosen the Three of Swords with the moss agate stone. Let's take a look at your cards. Compassion. Get curious. Journey. Curious again. Interesting. We have the Eight of Cups. The Ten of Cups. The Hanging Man in reversed, and the Page of Swords. Oh, I'm sorry. The Ten of Cups is in reverse. All right, let's take a look at these cards. Interesting that so you got 2 cards that say curious, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards that resemble this moss agate. All right, let's take a look at the cards. But before I do, the moss agate has to do with your heart chakra. It also has to do with your root chakra, which might tell me that you might not be very balanced right now. And you might have to increase your self-confidence. So let's take a look at these cards and find out what's going on with them. So with the Three of Swords here, evidently you've already gone or have suffered through some sort of heartbreak or suffering or heartache or whatever that looks like for you. But just remember, this particular card, if we're looking at it, it's a heart of stone. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you have a heart of stone. It's saying that don't allow a broken heart or suffering to cause you to get hard. This is giving us the opportunity to learn the wisdom, learn the lesson within this heartache or suffering that we went through, right? With this, it allows you to grow and mature. And with the compassion card that came out, it has a deer on it, which further justifies the Three of Swords and being compassionate with yourself. With the fact that you are going to make mistakes, and it's okay. With those mistakes, it's not failure. It's a lesson learned. You learned a way to not do something, so not to do that again, right? Also, have compassion for what caused the hurt, right? So if it was another person, look, we're all human. We all have our own issues. We all, have come from different environments, and we all have our own ways of doing things. And very well, maybe this person did know better, maybe they did not. But the point is that maybe they, even if they do know better, what they know is from their history, right? And if they have not grown from that, well, that's on them, and not necessarily a reflection on you, right? So have compassion that they have not learned from their lessons, but move forward, and having compassion for yourself that you are growing, learning, growing, expanding. I said growing twice. My gosh. Then we have the Get Curious card, which is a card about really changing your own mindset. And there's a raven on here, and the raven is actually quite a spectacular bird in its own right, because yes, it can be known as the truckster, because it can mimic a lot of different voice patterns, or not voice patterns, but not voice, but like bird patterns that they can vocalize, that they can duplicate, right? So, but what this card is really, really stating is that you are able to duplicate, manifest what it is you want to manifest. Because when, for instance, this particular the Raven card, the Get Curious card, it's the ravens are very sophisticated in the way they vocalize, right? They are able to open gates to, they are very, very smart, right? But because they are curious creatures, they continue to learn and grow. And that's technically what this card is telling you, get curious, learn, grow. The more of the different things that you do, the more, you attempt, the more you're going to expand your way of seeing things and get out of being stuck in the Three of Swords kind of feeling, that hurt feeling. And then we come across this Journey card, which is, may you seek adventure. And then the Curious card, may you open and explore. Well, these both confirm the previous oracle cards, right? It's about getting out there and trying new things. And maybe someone didn't hurt you necessarily on purpose. Maybe someone passed and it hurt you in a way and you don't know how to move on, right? And that's a possibility, and that could be for somebody out there as well. But overall, it really doesn't matter how you got hurt. What really matters is that you get unstuck, you expand, have compassion for yourself and those that hurt you or that have passed. And it is time to get curious and expand on your journey. Go exploring, try new things, right? Because then we have the Eight of Cups here. And funny enough, the Eight of Cups is, it draws attention to your own personal growth, your own personal journey, which is what the first five cards is really talking about, your growth, right? So far, everything is talking about growth. Get in touch with your higher self and see, start following those instincts that are going to help you to move forward and continue to move forward, right? The on this particular card, the Eight of Cups, it has a what's the name of this salmon? It's a salmon, right? Yeah, it's a salmon. It's Chinook salmon. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Anyways, it's also known as the king salmon. Really, that's probably a lot easier to go with. Basically, the word salmon comes from the Latin word salmo, which means to leap, right? So this is all about taking leaps. And funny enough, the other two cards that came before the Eight of Cups, the Journey and Curious cards, have water in them. So take a leap, right? And not only that, these salmons are they are born in fresh water, but they're travelers. They migrate to the ocean. And then later, they return to fresh water, which is, and that's where they complete their cycle, but they don't just stay in fresh water. They go and expand and explore the ocean. They get out of the fresh water. It's a beautiful card for your particular reading here, pile number 3, because this is being very, very specific that you have got to get out of whatever it is you're doing, however it is you're thinking, and move forward. The universe is urging you to move forward, right? Because with this 10 of Cups in reverse, it's like you are getting a little too content with this uncomfortableness of sorrow. It's like you're ignoring yourself and what you are capable of doing, because you're so stuck within that sorrow. And now on this card, on the 10 of Cups card, there's two swans, and swans are elegant creatures. And what this particular, because this card is upside down, what this is telling me is that you're not taking care of yourself. Your appearance, your mental state, even family issues, because this the two swans have 3 little ducklings that are also, 4 little ducklings that are just kind of swimming along. So make sure that you don't neglect yourself, is really what this is stating. Make sure that you don't neglect yourself and your appearance. And this is not about beautifying yourself or anything like that, but just taking personal care of yourself, all right? With the Hanged Man here in reverse, funny enough, it's like... it's almost like not that you don't want to surrender. That's not what I want to say. But really, you're not taking the time out, because the Hangman is really about taking the time out to reflect. And in reverse is like you're not taking that time out to reflect, and you're stuck in a certain way of seeing things, or the certain mentality, and you're not tapping in to your own intuition, because the Hangman, usually when they're hanging down, they have like a little halo just below them, right? And that signifies, once they take that time out, they are, they get insight, right? They gain insight. And right now you're not gaining insight because you're not paying attention to certain things. And with this Page of Swords here, I almost lost a crystal. With this Page of Swords here is that you're being very indignant in the way you're moving, or in the way, not moving because you aren't moving, in your lack of movement, almost as if you're like, no, I deserve this pain because of, fill in the blank, whatever reason you might have for yourself. But that's not necessarily true. Okay. Goddess Ella came out, and I haven't even asked to clarify the any of the cards, but this is overall clarifying that and it came out in reverse, that you aren't you're not taking care of yourself. Again, it's the same as the Ten of Cups. Your mental stability, your physical self, your emotional self, your spiritual self. It's all about taking care of yourself. All right, let's get clarification on this Eight of Cups here. We have the Page of Wands in reverse. Yeah. It's like because the Page of Wands, it's like they're wanting to take the leap, right? But part of you is you're not wanting to, right? And even though the Eight of Cups is urging you to take the leap, you are just like, no, I'm afraid to take the leap. You're not wanting that beginning, a new beginning. And you're being stuck. With the Ten of Cups in reverse, we have the Four of Swords, and we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So it's funny, we have a lot of pages here showing up. The Four of Swords is about rest and recovery, right? Recuperating from something. And I feel like you've already taken much time to recoup. And I feel like that's just extended for a little bit too long. And the Page of Pentacles, again, you're not wanting to start something new. You're not wanting to see what's ahead. You're stuck in, because it's in reverse, you're stuck in where you are. All right, let's clarify the Hangman in reverse. All right, with the Hangman in reverse, we have the Three of Wands in reverse, where, you're not taking any action. Well, yeah, that's true. You're not moving forward. And then we have the Star, which is, about hope and guidance. And this is urging you to dive deep into yourself, and have compassion for yourself, and get out there, seek guidance to try to get out of this area, because this Star is about faith. It's about hope, and it is coming here upright. So you do have faith, you do have hope, but it's like that Star is a bit dim for you, but it's there. It is there, and you just have to get the guidance. Ooh, that car flew. You have to. There it is. You have to get out there, and the Three of Cups came out. You have to get out there and celebrate with friends and families. And you don't even have to, it's not even a celebration. It's more of a getting together with different types of people. Remember, get curious, explore. This is coming up again. Get out there, go and do something. I understand that you're being quite defiant as far as your movement is concerned. But truthfully, you are being guided to go out there and talk to others, even others that have gone through a similar situation as you, that had the difficulty to get out there, but they did do it. Find groups like that that you might be able to be on the same level with, so that you are able to explore your emotions and really dive into them, so that you're able to get out of this sorrow that you are currently in, so that you're able to move forward towards a more fulfilled life the way you had previously, or if you didn't have it previously, the way that you deserve to have it. All right, that is the upcoming 6 months. What to expect in the next 6 months for you, my dear pile number 3. I hope this did resonate. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment. I truly appreciate it. Until we meet again, bye.